Oh, and welcome to the Howard Eskin Show. And it is a fine, fine day, live on Saturday morning as we are, 8 o'clock Eastern time for those people that are watching in different parts of the country and maybe different parts of the world, because I know I've gotten comments from people all over the world. And I always want to mention that the Howard Eskin Show is brought to you by Stillwell Financial Advisors, and Jeff Stillwell is the guy. I'm telling you, he's the guy. I had lunch with him, an hour lunch, and I learned so much from Jeff in an hour lunch. It was great, and you will learn. And if you want to invest, any wealth management you have, Stillwell Financial Advisors, Jeff Stillwell, 732-343-0813. All right. So, and give Jeff a call. I mean, hey, you never know. Also, there's a lot of things to talk about this morning, and it's your show. And I think I saw somebody has already clicked in that wants to talk. And I see there's a Keith from Tulsa. See, I told you there's some people from all over the country, and you can join the show today because there's a lot of things I want to talk about. Obviously, the Sixers, and we'll get into the Sixers. Uh, the Phillies, even though on Friday night they scored 13 runs, I still don't like their lineup, but we'll talk about that. And the Flyers draft, and uh, another interesting coaching rant that we'll have during the show. And we'll have somebody that can win a Chickies and Pete's gift certificate just by answering a question that I will present at the end, towards the end of the show, and you'll have time to respond to it to my website, howardeskin.com, and you could win a Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. We'll give you our winner shortly. But first, before I start getting into the things that I want to get into, I want to tell you about Audi Westchester. Uh, Audi Westchester has a great, when I say great, capitalized Greate. Did I spell that right? I'm not like the mayor of Philadelphia, uh, because she can't even spell Eagles. But this is a great deal. 2025 Audi A3 Quattro for only $439 a month, or a new 2025 Audi A5 Sportback for only $529 a month. All you need is $2,500 down. Not a lot to put down, plus taxes and registration fees to lease the new 2025 Audi A3 or the A5 Sportback, 36 months, 7,500 miles per year. Audi of Westchester, Audi Westchester, 1421 Wilmington Pike. Special offer won't last much longer. A new 2025 A3 Audi, $439 a month, or a new 2025 Audi A5 Sportback, $529 a month. Check it out, AudiWestchester.com. Also, and I know we're rolling into the July 4th weekend next weekend. And if you've waited and you had thoughts about building a pool, Piazza Property Pros, you can check with them, but you might have to wait a little bit, but you're going to miss part of the summer but call them and see. Pool renovation, pool maintenance, excavation, fencing, landscaping. 25 years of experience tells you all you need to know about Piazza Property Pros. It just and they don't subcontract with their people. That's another good thing. Check it out. Give them a call. They'll work within your budget. 610-566-2608. 610-566-2608. Check them out on the internet, piazzaoutdoor.com. Hey, turn your property into something special, and you can do it with Piazza Property Pros. And you want to save some money? Well, I got a way to do it. Tired of overpaying for your cable? Then you have to cut the cord with Jason. Jason offers an incredible service that will save you money on your monthly TV and internet bill. Here's what people who have hired Jason have to say. He's smart guy who can save you money with TV and streaming. And that was Lloyd. Another endorsement, fine endorsement for Jason. We saved lots and I have recommended him to numerous other happy cut the cord clients. Morey, another client testimonial, and another one. Helpful, kind, and a good teacher when you change your TV service. And that's Eden. Obviously, Eden there with his, I would assume it's his wife. And there's so many endorsements. People love to cut the cord with Jason. For more information, give Jason a call, 215 801 5858. That's 215 801 5858. All right. There's some things we want to talk about. And I see there's people that have already want to join the program. And I'm going to get to you very shortly. But the Sixers, I talk to people. If you draft 3, everybody's all excited about VJ Edgecomb. And they probably should be because it was the 3rd pick in the draft. Better not screw it up. Although the Sixers have screwed up a lot of draft picks and they've screwed them up over years. The one that I thought was the biggest stiff at 3, when they drafted at 3, was Jahlil Okafor. I don't even think he's in the league anymore. Now, he's drafted 10 years ago, but what a stiff. What an absolute stiff. But again, VJ Edgecomb, everybody tells me he's a great, great, great player. And that's good because he should be a great player. The problem the Sixers have is they still have Joel Embiid, who's never going to be healthy 3 more years. Paul George, who apparently is lazy and says it's his health, takes games off. It's just, we know VJ Edgecomb is good. But they have so many guards. They just drafted a guard last year. At least this guard, VJ Edgecomb, has a little more side. Let's hear what Daryl Morey had to say about picking VJ Edgecomb.
So I really like, how things are shaping up. I think we'll have one of the best backcourts in the league, with Grimes and Maxey and Jared McCain and now VJ. So I do think, like, the way the NBA is going, I think you saw some of these teams playing dynamic, up-tempo with multiple guards that put the defense in jeopardy. And, we do have to have our main guy in the middle. I felt for the players and Coach Nurse, specifically last year, trying to put a defense on the floor with Joel out. And, obviously Drummond was hurt. So we didn't, Bowen stepped up late, which was exciting. But it's very hard if you have like a bunch of dynamic guards, it's hard to make it all work if you don't have a big in there who's making things hard on the.
You know what? Now here's the deal. I think they have you're going to have to at some point not keep all of them. But when Daryl Morey, they have too many guards, shooting, point, whatever it is, they're interchangeable nowadays anyway. But where does Jared McCain come in? He's a shooter, but if VJ Edgecomb is that good, then what's McCain going to do? But here's the thing that I love when Daryl Morey always tells you. He hypes everything up. He said, this quoting Daryl Morey, we have one of the best backcourts in the NBA. You know how many good backcourts there are in the NBA? It's just, there's a lot of good teams out there. There are a lot of good teams. But remember when Buddy Hield came here? Oh, we have the best 3-point shooter in the NBA. He lasted here 1 year and he was gone. It's just something about playing here. He's done a nice job. He moved on and he's done a nice job, but he always overhypes. All right. Daryl Morey was asked about a medical update for Joel Embiid. And here is con job number 2. Let's hear.
Update time. Spoke to Joel today. He's very engaged, attacking rehab, doing everything he can to be out there. He had a meeting with Dr. Glashow this week. All things, to use the NASA term, nominal. Things are going well and expected, and we expect that to continue. So
ready for camp.
Yeah, things are on track to be ready right around there.
Yeah. things are on track to be ready right around there. Joel Embiid's not going to be ready for camp. I mean, and he's not going to participate in camp for, whatever. It's just, he always gives you these things. He's trying to get people, they see, they're not doing well, it's not their fault. It's not the people that work in the office. Ticket sales for season tickets are way down. So he's trying to put, oh yeah, Joel Embiid should be ready for, I just, I'll tell you if I was wrong. I'll tell you if I was wrong, but he will not be ready for camp. So, hey, VJ Edgecom's a really good player. And Janai Brome is, I think, how you pronounce the name. Who knows? He's a big guy, and they needed to get a big guy. So everybody loves their draft picks. When you listen to the draft, if you listen to the draft, the cliches just roll out. This guy's got a high motor. What the hell's a high motor? If you're not playing hard, what the hell you doing? He's got a high motor. What the hell does that mean? What does a high motor mean? You play hard all the time, or you either don't get drafted or you don't last in the league. It's that simple. He's got a high motor. He's very athletic. Well, okay. If you're playing in the NBA, you better be athletic. The cliche that this is one of my questions. What is the worst cliche? What is the worst cliche or the most overused cliche that you hear during the draft? I see Keith sent a message here, and I'm going to go to the calls or the podcasters or whatever you want to. I want to call them. Keith says, "Ready for camp." Talking about Joel. Love Howard or hate him. He's so right on this. He writes douchebag. I mean, he wrote it. I didn't say it. Daryl Morey just kind of rolls out BS. It's just whatever. All right. Talking to Joe, my producer. Do we have somebody ready to go on, Joe? Okay. All right. Let's go to Jerry. Jerry, you're on the Howard Eskin Show. What's happening? Jerry, it's not that tough. Jerry. Hey, Jerry.
Yeah. Hey, Howard, how are you?
Good. How are you, Jerry? What's up?
Good. I was just wondering what you thought about the Flyers draft.
I'm going to get to that. When you get the 6th and 12th player, I think the Flyers, I trust the Flyers. I don't trust the Sixers, although I know the Sixers got a good player in VJ Edgecom, but it's the rest of the team that's screwed up. You got Embiid and Paul George still there. You can't build it up like Indianapolis build it up, like Oklahoma City build it up, because you're stuck with two stiffs. Joel Embiid, if he was completely healthy, obviously he would be a very good player, but he's never going to be completely healthy. But in the Flyers case, I trust them. Who is it? Porter Martone and Jack Nesbitt, 6 and 12. And I'm going to play. I got a comment about the NHL commissioner who made himself look foolish again. I know he might be a nice guy, but he makes himself look foolish every time he opens his mouth. But I think the Flyers draft is really good because I trust Danny Briere and I trust Keith Jones. I really trust those people. They're going to win a championship, not anytime soon, but win a championship way before the Sixers. There's just no question in my mind. No question.
Oh, I hope so.
So your thoughts, obviously you're a Flyers fan and you're excited about that.
Yes, they needed size. They got some size. The one guy, Porter, does have some skill, and we'll see what happens.
Well, they said they needed a center, and they got a center. And they traded up to get number 12, giving up 2 of their picks later in the first round. They really did a good job setting themselves up for the draft. Daryl Morey just trades away picks. The Flyers acquired him to set themselves up, what appears to be very good in the draft. Are you you're a Flyers fan more than a Sixers fan, I guess, right?
I'm a Flyers fan first, more than anything.
All right. Well, I'm telling you, I think they clearly, absolutely, positively are on the right track. All right, Jerry. Hey, man, I appreciate you checking in.
Yep.
This
Thanks a lot, Howard.
Saturday, I'm going to try to make Saturdays until we get to football season because I'm going to have Mark. I'll have Mark Lawrence on during football season, but I'll still try to engage people being a part of the show. Is a somebody wrote is Ted in a comment here. Is AI telling Daryl that Embiid is going to be ready for camp? That's not Allen Iverson. Remember, Daryl Morey admitted that he uses AI to help evaluate players. It's just, I see Keith, the Flyers. Yeah, we agree on the Flyers. All right, Joe, do we have somebody else there? All right, let's go to Cowboy Jim and see what this nitwit, moron, and dope altogether has to say. I see you got your hair. You combed your hair this morning.
At least I know how to. At least I know how to work this the camera and
Yeah.
everything like that.
Well,
Not like
some
those
people,
other morons.
some people may not want to be on camera. So hey, listen. As long as they get the audio properly, I'm okay. If people don't want to be on camera, that's okay. And if they just want to talk to me, that's okay too.
Well, it takes a Cowboy fan to get things right. So
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, handsome, in your own mind, how's it going?
Yeah.
Everything good?
You know, I've never had a bad day in my life. I've had some bad moments, and one of them's right now. But go ahead.
All right. Before I get to the Phillies and ranking the greatest NFL coaches, do we really need 2 more hockey games? I mean, come on. It goes into June. Nobody cares about hockey in June unless it's the
So
Flyers.
I didn't even. You know what? You're telling me something because I haven't paid attention to the schedule. They added 2 games to the season.
The 26-27 season, they're adding 2 more games.
Oh,
Now, I
not
mean,
this year, but next year.
next year. But
Yeah.
do we come on, Howard? I mean,
Well,
they're
the
like, oh,
NFL. Wait a minute. The NFL is going to add it. They've added 1 more, and they're going to add by next year. I would bet there would be. I would bet there would be another game and have 18 to make it an even number.
so I see like the NHL and almost the NBA almost being year round. I mean, this is what it's come to. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, yeah.
Well, they do it but they need the money. Well, the NFL doesn't need the money. The NFL makes so much money, they just print it.
I
But
know.
the NHL, unless a team gets to the second round of the playoffs, they can't make money. Most of them can't make money. The New York team might because it's New York. Well, actually, maybe just the Rangers. I don't know about the Islanders, but the Islanders, they got a good player in the draft as well.
Well, and now back to the Phillies here. As we can see, the Phillies, you never know what you're going to get from night to night. But I mean, the rest of the NL East is collapsing. I mean, the Mets, the Braves. I mean, which means the Phillies are going to probably make the playoffs, but then they're going to have to go play some good teams, and it's just infuriating watching them. You never know what you're going to get every night.
Well, I remember last night's team was a losing team. You don't think of the Braves as a losing team, but the Phillies don't play well against the winning teams, and they play obviously much better against the losing teams. And I assume, and I didn't see the beginning of the game, there was a rain delay. Both teams changed their starters because of the delay, and it was a bullpen game. So who knows? I mean, the Braves rolled a guy out there. It was brutal.
But your
It was
thoughts,
brutal.
all right. But your thoughts on those 3 games in Houston? 1 run in 3 games. I mean,
Wait a minute. They didn't score a run for 25 or 26 straight innings.
yeah.
That's not a good thing. They only scored runs in 3 of the previous 36, and only in 3 innings of the previous 36. The Phillies, I do not like the Phillies lineup. I don't like their offense. They can't score unless they hit home runs. And last night it was a joke, but I think they had 4 or 5 home runs. When I say last night, Friday night, whenever you're watching this, but I don't like their lineup. They're not they're a good team, but I don't think they're a World Series team.
I agree.
So,
I agree. It's just that Houston series it told people a lot about what the Phillies really are.
yeah. I mean, again, I just don't like their lineup. And Bryce, I'll just say, I heard from within the Phillies organization, some people think that they're a better lineup without Bryce Harper in there, which is amazing when you think about it. But the Bryce Harper of this year, they might be better. And he's got 6 more years after this year. He swings for home runs, and that's why I think he gets hurt, because it's such a powerful swing. And he just, I said I don't think he's a Hall of Famer right now, but everybody gets into the Hall of Fame these days. But he's only got 345 home runs. That's a lot, but that's not Hall of Fame.
Well, like they say, the Nationals won the World Series after he left.
Well,
So-
and the other thing, he's only driven in 100 runs twice, only 2 seasons in his 14-year career. And
Is he
I can't
he-
see him doing it again.
Is he the Joel Embiid of the Phillies?
No, he's been hurt 3 of the last 4 years, but at least he plays hard. He plays hard. Joel Embiid doesn't play hard all the time. So no, I would not. There's not a lot of people at that level that I would compare to Joel Embiid.
All right, can I just real quick
Real quick,
the greatest
please.
NFL coaches of all time? It's really hard to choose. I mean, you could say Vince Lombardi, but
Well,
without,
I brought that up to Herm Edwards in the last podcast. I guess.
yeah,
you
I
heard-
watched
you
it.
heard
I
that.
watched it the other day. That was really, I love Herm Edwards.
Herm is great.
But you look at like Tom Landry, like over 20 years, he went to the playoffs 18 times. In 17 years, he went to 12 NFC championship games. Don Shula, successful with Baltimore, successful with Miami,
With everybody.
but he did nothing after the early 70s. Jimmy Johnson was successful with the Cowboys, but he was not successful with Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins. Chuck Noll surrounded himself with all those Hall of Famers. So how can it's just hard. Andy Reid is great, but I
Well-
just it's hard to
Well, I have Jimmy Johnson ahead of Belichick.
well
I
yeah.
have Andy Reid's the best in the NFL, and maybe eventually will be the best all time. Bill Walsh, you can't forget about him, although there's not a lot of years. There wasn't a lot of years for John Madden, but I can't put him in. I don't put, but I do put Tom Landry, Chuck Noll. If you go way back, Chuck Noll was great with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But
I
he had Hall of Fame. He had so many Hall of Fame. He was
Well, yeah.
surrounded. Was that because he chose those people or somebody else did?
I'm sure.
or-
I'm sure the coach had a lot to do with it. But he still, Hey, Terry Bradshaw is a Hall of Famer, but when you look at his numbers, he's kind of borderline. And he did it with Terry Bradshaw, but he had great players around him. I still take Don Shula. I still take Joe Gibbs, Bill Parcells. I take John Harbaugh. I like all those guys above Belichick because he cheated, and without Brady. So those are 2 strikes against him.
I just say it's just hard to really choose
Yeah.
if you look back at that.
All right, Nitwit. You have a great weekend and
Bye, handsome.
have a happy holiday, July 4th. All
Bye,
right.
handsome, in your own mind. Goodbye.
He can't help himself. He absolutely can't help himself. Yeah, I do want to get in the Phillies lineup, and I like Rob Thompson, but he changes the lineup too much. I would have left Stott lead off, and I would have left Turner at 2. I just and it's going to change again when Harper comes back, and who knows when that's going to be. I don't think he made the road trip. He stays home to get his rehab. He could go on the road trip, but whatever. I the lineup's going to change again. I don't like the way they change. I don't like the way they change the lineup. All right, I do want to address the Flyers before we take another person to join the show. You know what? Let me just take. I have a Chickies and Pete's winner from the last show from Herm Edwards, and the question was: you'd think that the miracle in the Meadowlands was Herm Edwards' favorite moment, best moment, but he really made a point to say his first interception, his rookie year, the miracle in the Meadowlands was year number 2. His first year when he had his first interception against Joe Namath was the point he made. And he kind of said, bigger than it was my first interception. That was the answer. His greatest moment was his interception against Joe Namath. And the winner, Mark Herbert. Mark, you won. Other people had the proper answer. However, we select the person at random. And Mark, you were, because you listened to the show and you submitted your answer to my website, howardeskin.com. And you are the winner of the Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. We're going to give another one away today, and I'm going to ask a question towards the end of the show, and make sure that you understand what the question is, and we'll ask the question. All right, let me talk about the Flyers draft before I go to another caller here. You know what? Let me go to a caller. I see Jeff Miller I think he's been on for a while. Okay, Jeff, you got to rejoin with audio. You don't have your audio up. My producer tells me you don't have your audio up. So try. All right, let's go to Jason.
What's up, King?
Hey, what's happening?
Nothing much. So I was on last
Hey,
week.
before you get into this, tell people how easy it is to join when you get to the link. It says join. You put your name in. It says join studio, right? And you just make sure at the bottom you see a microphone for the sound, and you see a camera. If you don't want to be on camera, you can click on it and exit out. But you got to have the audio. Pretty easy, isn't it?
Pretty easy. In fact, I was on last week, and I won the sunglasses. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I just wanted to tell you my earliest recollection of you was in the early '80s. It was like my first Sixers game. I was like 9 or 10. It was a Sixers-Lakers game, and you were mud wrestling after the game. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. You know that picture? I have the photograph. That photograph of me coming up after I beat. There were professional women mud wrestlers. They were professionals, and I pinned both of them, and I came up out of the mud like this. Now I was a lot heavier. One of Pat Williams' books has the photograph in the book.
Oh, wow.
And I guess it's on the internet somewhere, but yes, I do remember it. And you know what? There was people in the first row they were watching. One of those was John Nash, and I don't know if he was a general manager of the Sixers at the time, and David Montgomery, who was at one point the president, may rest in peace, David, great guy, was there. And I think after I was done, and I went over and hugged one of them with mud all over. It took me an hour to get the mud off, but whatever. All right, that was an unbelievable. I actually remember the date, February.
Was it 82?
1982. It was February. I believe it might have been February 2nd. It was in February of 1982.
Okay, I was 10 years old.
Yeah. So,
well, I have a lot of thoughts. Phillies especially, but I have a Flyers and Sixers thought too. But I'll start with your Phillies question.
Okay.
I think this team is actually built for the playoffs, Howard, and I think it's through the strength of their starting pitchers. Right. I mean, their top four is as good as, if not better than, any other in baseball. Right. I do think the lineup has too many impatient, streaky hitters, and it needs to be tweaked, and especially in center field. Like the Marsh and Rojas experiment is not working. Right.
Well, here's the bottom line. Their outfield is below major league level when you take all three of them together. I mean, Castellanos is good player, but obviously not a good defensive player, but you can live with that. Harper should have stayed in right, and they should have signed Rhys Hoskins, but Bryce Harper wanted to play first base, and the Phillies said, okay. That's what should have happened. Now, eventually they say, well, he might go back. If they get a first baseman, he might go back to the outfield, which would make it better. But Rojas and Marsh are at best fourth and fifth outfielders not even on all major league teams. Rojas probably wouldn't be in the big leagues, and Marsh would be a fourth or fifth outfielder, at maybe fifth on a lot of teams. They're just not good enough. I mean, that was a bad trade, regardless of what you traded.
That trade, he should be on the hot seat for that trade. Logan O'Hoppe is one of the best young catchers in baseball.
Yep.
And Marsh, he left two holes with that trade, basically. Like, I mean, Marsh is not a starting outfielder. And like I said, O'Hoppe, they need a backup catcher also. Like, they need a veteran backup catcher. They've neglected that position for a couple of years now. And Real Muto is not the same player that he used to be. And if he plays less, maybe he would get back to, the level that he was.
I don't know if I would re-sign Real Muto. He said he'd take less money. What's less money? He's making what, 23 million now?
But
What's
here's
less money? What's he going to take? 15? I wouldn't pay him 15.
here's the problem, though, Howard. Who's your catcher? I mean, they don't fall off of trees. Good catchers, right?
Yeah, the
He's a
one
good
they have
defense.
now, they're okay with the one they have now, but he's got to stay healthy. You're not worried about the offense because you're not worried about the offense with Realmuto. So what's it? Marchand is
Marchand.
yeah. I mean, he's a good catcher, but hey, I would keep him, and then you bring Stubbs back up to be your backup. Stubbs not going to hit, but he can catch. Hey, listen, Realmuto. You notice when he tries to throw to second base now. Now the new thing is he started with the knee. Okay, a lot of guys do that, but it's not good for for blocking breaking balls.
Right.
But you notice he bounces the ball to second base.
Yep.
I don't know if he feels like he can't get it there. It doesn't lose much, but he hops it to second base, and that's by design. I just
I think the way the ball, like the level, the carom of the ball coming off the turf leads to a good position for the middle infielder to catch the ball and make the tag. So
yeah, but
I think he does that, purposely.
yeah, well, I'm not. I do not. I do not like the lineup. I do not like the lineup. I mean, they got some good players in there. I do not like the lineup.
What do you think if they call up Crawford and then maybe like add a right-handed hitting?
Apparently, they're not
bat?
ready. I mean, the pitching in the minor leagues is so awful. Maybe they don't think he's ready for major league pitching yet, and they don't want to bury him yet. If Crawford doesn't come, Crawford will probably be up in September at the worst, but it'll still be next year at the latest. At the latest. my producer dug up the picture. That's awful.
That's great.
That is awful. Yeah, I was a little heavier. That was a little heavier then.
I remember when Croce had a show leading into your show, and he used to make pig noises before you came on. You remember that?
Well, the thing is, I went into TV shortly thereafter that in '82, and before I forget when Channel 3 hired me, but I was on the air. The first time I was on the air, it was September 20th, 1982. But I lost about 50 some pounds before I went on my own. They didn't tell me, but I just had to have some respect for myself. But there, picture.
That's great.
Hey, Jason, thanks for jumping in. Always welcome, and thanks for being a listener and a viewer of the Howard Eskin Show. Thank you.
Thanks, King.
All right, take care. Yeah, I don't know what the Phillies. I don't know what the Phillies are going to do with Crawford. That's interesting. All right, I want to, before I get to another person here, I want to deal with the Flyers draft, which our first caller. I had somebody said he misses me on the radio. I mean, this is better than the radio because you can listen to it on your radio, and less and less people are listening to the radio. I mean, it's gotten so bad. Radio's gotten so bad. I'll just say the company I used to work for was running ads on one of their premier stations in drive time in the morning, running an ad to sell ads. It's just radio is kind of, when you run an ad to sell ads, that means you're struggling a little bit. This is the new form of media, the podcast. So, it's just, it is what it is. And my sponsors know that their commercials live forever because the podcast lives forever. On the radio, when they podcast their shows, they take the commercials out. So what can I tell you? All right, let me deal with the NHL draft. The NHL tried to spruce it up by getting celebrities to make the picks for different teams. The Flyers picks were made by Charles Barkley and Brandon Graham, the first round picks, which was nice, two prominent people. But listen to Gary Bettman before Charles Barkley makes the pick. And I had a friend of mine sent me a text, friend on the West Coast who gets up and listens to the show. I'll just say that, well, I'll read his text after, or I'll tell you about his text after we hear the to announce the Flyers' first round pick, the first pick at number 6. Here we go.
So making this selection for the Flyers, a legend in Philly, probably next to Rocky, their most famous athlete, an NBA analyst, a great friend to the NHL, and a great friend of mine, coming to us from Chicago, Sir Charles Barkley.
Hey, Gary, how you doing? Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me tonight.
Great to have you with us. So tell everybody what you love about our game.
Well, there's no BS that goes on in hockey. They don't have load management. They just want to get their name on the Stanley Cup. I admire these guys. I respect them. They just want to win the Stanley Cup. And at the end of the day, that's all sports should be. And we're all trying to win the championship. But if you give it your best, that's all you can do. That's why I love the hockey, their mindset.
We love that you're a fan of the game. We have some business to do. Why don't you make the pick?
Well, Gary, number one, I want to thank you for being a friend. You've been a friend a long time.
Thanks,
and I want to
Charles.
say welcome back to Philadelphia, Rick Tocchet. And with the 6th pick, my Flyers take Porter Martone from the Brampton Steelhead.
You know what? Here's what I want to address. It's okay Charles makes the pick. Charles really is a hockey fan. I know that he really is a hockey fan. But Gary Bettman, every time he opens his, I know he's probably a nice guy and he probably does some good things for the NHL as their commissioner, but don't open your mouth. Don't try to ad lib. Stay on script. It's just, you know, a friend of mine sent me a text that Pat Williams told it. Said this when Gary Bettman was announced as the new NHL commissioner. I gave Gary a puck once. He spent all day trying to open it. It's Pat Williams was a jokester. But here's the deal. Gary Bettman, it's just ridiculous. He said the most famous athlete next to Rocky, Charles Barkley. Well, number one, Rocky was not an athlete. He was he was a movie character. He was a movie character. He's not an athlete in Philadelphia. Rocky was famous because of the movie, and it was done in Philadelphia, and he was from Philadelphia. But no. But the most famous athlete, this is where you got to say, whoa, 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 whoa. Most famous. Charles is maybe one of the most, if not the most personable athlete, although Brandon Graham's up there too as far as personable. But famous athlete, did he forget? Let's go through the sports, or let's start with hockey. Did he forget about Bobby Clark and Bernie Parent? I know that goes way back, but they won Stanley Cups. Don't you think the legendary and famous? Okay, so that's with hockey. Let's go with baseball. Schmidt and Carlton, just two. Pete Rose, if you want to throw that in there, best third baseman in baseball, one of the best left-handed pitchers in baseball. The Sixers, Wilt was legendary. Wilt was a famous athlete. I mean, you just call him by his, when you call a guy by their first name, that makes you famous. Wilt was famous and one of the greatest athletes of the Sixers. And Julius Erving, what's that, chopped liver? And let's go the Eagles. Just take two guys, one that goes way back, legendary because he last guy to play 60 minutes in a football game, Chuck Bednarik, and then Reggie White. Gary Bettman's got to stay on script. Come on, brother, you got to stay on script. That's brutal, absolutely brutal. Just you embarrass yourself. One of the most famous. He didn't even say one. He says maybe the most famous athlete since Rocky. Rocky was a movie character. All right. And thanks again to the presenter. This Howard Eskin Show, and we are lucky to have Stillwell Financial Advisors, and they are the presenting sponsor of Without Stillwell, I don't know that we'd be around. But Jeff Stillwell will help you as well as he helps me. 732-343-0813. 732-343-0813. Jeff Stillwell can help you with your finances. I mean, he can do the job. I know Jeff, and I've talked to him, and he understands it probably as well as anybody. All right. Also, I want to tell you about Audi Westchester because they have a great deal going on right now. 2025 Audi A3 Quattro for only $439 a month. A new 2025 Audi A5 Sportback for only $529 a month. All you need is $2,500 down, plus taxes and registration fees. This is a great deal. Leasing a new 2025 Audi A3 Quattro or A5 Sportback for 36 months, 7,500 miles per year. Audi Westchester, 1421 Wilmington Pike. Don't wait. This special offer won't last long. Don't wait. This is a great deal. 2025 Audi A3 Quattro, only $439 a month. 2025 Audi A5 Sportback for only $529 a month. Check it out, AudiWestchester.com for more information. Also, you want to build a pool? You want to build your home up and have fun, right? You want to make it look nice, whether it's landscaping, whether it's fencing, whether it's hardscaping, whatever it is, excavation, or building a pool or pool maintenance. Piazza Property Pros. Remember that name, Piazza Property Pros. 25 years of experience. They don't subcontract, which means they do a great job. They'll deliver exceptional results within your budget. Here's a number, 610-566-2608. You can call today for a free consultation, 610-566-2608, or check them out at piazzaoutdoor.com. And if you want to save money on your cable, that means there's no more cable. Tired of overpaying for the cable? Then you have to cut the cord with Jason. Jason offers an incredible service that will save you lots of money on your monthly TV and internet bills. People say a lot of good, great endorsements of Jason and Cut the Cord. Lloyd, and here's what he has to say. He's a smart guy who can save you money with TV and streaming. He's not the only one that's really happy with Jason's service. We have Morey. We saved lots, and I have recommended him to numerous other happy Cut the Cord clients. Morey, another fine testimonial for Jason. And another testimonial, helpful, kind, and a good teacher when you change your TV service. People love to Cut the Cord with Jason. For more information and to save you lots of money, do yourself a favor. Call Jason today. Here's the number, 215-801-5858. That's 215-801-5858. All right, well, give Tony Woods a try. Maybe he's figured this out after 3 years. All right, Tony.
3.
Boy, how
Hello?
about that? You actually figured this out, huh? You actually figured this out?
Praise Jesus.
Yeah, go ahead. Are you okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what's up?
So that guy Yambi, is it number 28 for the Sixers? They still have him, or did they let him go?
Who?
Is it Yambi? Who's number 28?
You know what? I think they may have let him go. I'm not sure because they're dickering with the roster right now. So why would you even worry about him?
Well, I think when he's out there, when JoJo's not playing, he seems to give them a little more energy. He's a little more.
Yeah, but you're not going to win anything without Joel Embiid. You're not going to win anything.
Yeah, well, maybe
it's not about just being. It's not about just being competitive. It's about winning a championship. They are so far behind the better teams in the NBA. I mean, they're competitive.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Halliburton, remember now he's hurt, so I don't think right? He's not going to play next year, right?
He's going to it'll be a struggle to get him back before the end of the season.
So what do you? Well, then, what do you think the Sixers need to do?
Forget about Indy. There's other teams that are better than they are. It's just, and and they know what they're doing, putting a team together. Boston realizes where they are, and they're
The Knicks,
restructuring their
right?
team.
The Knicks.
Yeah. The Knicks are good too. Yes. And I see there's a comment here from Scott. You're not going to, and I've said this multiple times, you're not going to win with Embiid. You're not going to win with Embiid. Not going to win
So,
with Embiid. All right, Tony, I'm going to ask you a question rather than you rattle off certain things. I'm going to name my top 3 coaches. I asked this of Herm Edwards, and I saw your comments, so I know you were on the show. My top 3 coaches. I'll tell you what, I'm going to name my top 5 coaches because it's hard to just name 3. My top 5 coaches. I'm going to have. Who are your top? Give me your top 5 coaches all time
for football.
Yes.
I'm going to say Landry, Chuck Noll, and who else is Bill Walsh.
You know what? They're pretty good. I have one. You forgot Andy Reid. Reid, Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Joe Gibbs, and Bill Walsh.
Yeah,
So
but you said
here are my top 5. What's that?
You had said 3, so
Did I say 3 or 5? Okay,
yeah,
said
you
3.
told me 3, so that's why I went with 3.
All right, that's fine. I'm going to give you my top 5. Reid, Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Joe Gibbs,
right,
and Bill Walsh. Those are my top 5.
right.
Okay, so, but whatever. All right, Tony.
What about Jimmy Johnson and what's
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's just outside that. I debated between Jimmy Johnson
Shula?
and and Shula's there too. Well, if you go to top 10, if you go beyond that, then I take Jimmy Johnson, Shula, obviously Lombardi, Parcells, John Harbaugh. I have them all above Bill Belichick, all above Belichick. So,
Yeah, I think
all
he's
right.
in last place on that deal.
All right. Hey, Tony, I appreciate you checking in. Thanks, man. You got it right this time. I'm proud of you. All right. See you later.
All right, see you, Howard.
All right. Who's next, Joe? Who do we got next? Somebody, I see Scott on a comment here, said that Cleveland, New York, and Orlando are apparently better than the Sixers. And Keith made a good point when I say about personal. Gary Bettman, Bernie Bryant, one of the most personable and dedicated to Philly sports heroes that Philadelphia has. Yeah, he's right. He's right. Joe, do we have somebody else here? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Hey, Jeff, you got to rejoin with audio. I see there was a Jeff Hoffman that wanted to. I know a Jeff Hoffman, and I don't know if it's the one that I know. RG says Lombardi. Yeah, Lombardi's in there too. It's really hard, but that's why Belichick's not in there. Belichick's not in there. Yeah, Lombardi. Yeah, who would I put Lombardi above in the top 5? You might put him ahead of Bill Walsh. So Lombardi would be, and it goes when most people don't remember Lombardi. So 5, they're both 5. It's really hard. That's why I can't put. So, all right. So I'm going to leave Lombardi at 6. Reid, Tom Landry, Chuck Noll are my top 3. Reid, Tom Landry, and Chuck Noll. Does anybody dispute that? So, all right. I saw somebody else tried to jump on here. Joe, do we have somebody here? Okay. You got to try to explain this to people. When you click on the link, it'll say, put your name in there, say, join the stream. At the bottom, you'll see a microphone, picture of a microphone, and a picture of a camera. If you have a line through the camera or the microphone, you don't have them on. If you don't want the camera, you can put you can click on the camera to put a line through it. But I got to have the microphone to be able to talk to you. Uh, uh, you know, here's a great comment. I never even realized it, and that's why I put Joe Gibbs in the top 5. Joe Gibbs who is this? Pat Milligan. Joe Gibbs is the only guy. I knew he won 3 Super Bowls, but I didn't know. Yeah, he won with 3 different quarterbacks. He won with what? Theismann, with Doug Williams, and with Mark Rippon. Are those? I think those are the 3 quarterbacks that he won with. Um, uh, I'm not going to put the comment by Scott. We're talking about coaching football. He can't worry about his girlfriend. Wow, that's amazing. I didn't even think about that. There's coaches that won with different teams, and that's legendary as well. And that puts you in the mix. But that's why I can't have. He had Tom Brady and he cheated. I can't put him. I can't put him in there. All right. Well, Flyers draft Porter Martone, Jack Nesbitt. I think the Flyers did a great job. I think the Flyers did a great job. And the Sixers, the VJ Edgecomb, I don't know about Yanni Brome. How do you know he was? No, he's big, and all these guys when they come in, they say they're going to play hard, and I get all that. Did we, Joe? Did we play the comments from VJ Edgecomb? We just played Morey, right? Did we play we didn't play VJ Edgecomb. Okay, let's hear from VJ Edgecomb after he was drafted, the Sixers' first pick at number 3.
Like I say, I work hard, and everything is paying off. But the work don't stop. Now I'm definitely looking forward to going to Philly, meeting the team, get ready for summer league, training camp, all that. So I'm focused on playing now. I mean, it's been a minute since they won, so just going there and being that piece that's gonna help them get over the hump would mean a lot to me. Would mean a lot to the fans, the owners, all that. So I'm excited to go there, see what we can do. It's the NBA. They ain't gonna promise you nothing. You got, like I said, you got grown men fighting for their jobs, and I'm just going in there. Whatever coach needs me to do, I'm gonna go do. That's it. Whatever coach needs me to do, I'm gonna go do. That requires me coming off the bench. That requires me starting, playing alongside both Maxey and McCain, playing with one of them at the same time. I mean, it don't matter. I'm just going there to play. Whatever, like I said, whatever Coach Nurse need me to do.
You know what? He obviously says the right things, but at number 3, I mean, everybody says that he's a really good player, but that's not what the Sixers need. They need to not have Joel Embiid because he's never going to be healthy. And I see a comment from Night Train. If Tony can figure out how to call in, which is a miracle, you're right, Joel Embiid can play 82 games. I would give you 1,000 to 1 odds that Joel Embiid will never, ever play 82 games. Well, nobody plays 82 games, so that's really, he's not going to play 82 games. Joel Embiid needs to play at least, I don't know that he's going to play 50 games. That's the other issue. And he doesn't play hard all the time. He doesn't listen to the coach all the time. He's worried too much about his numbers. One of these, I think it was VJ Escom say, I'm playing with, I didn't hear it in that comment. Like Joel Embiid, you're playing with an MVP. Not anymore. You're not playing with an MVP anymore. Hey, listen, the picks may be really good. I just don't know, the structure of the team. There's too many guards to think. And Daryl Morey says they have, probably the best guard combination, one of the best in the NBA. Remember, he said Buddy Hield was the best 3-point shooter, and he lasted here a year, and then he was gone. All right, before we go, I got to give you. All right, let me. All right, before we before we go, I want to play, and I'll give you the question. I want to play. We had Herm Edwards on, which was one of the great coaching rants of all time. But one of the greatest was Jim. Jim Morris Sr. Who was the coach with Arizona? Green. He just put on a show. I don't think that was real. It was real emotion. Jim Morris Sr. was real emotion. Let's hear from Jim Morris Sr.
I'll start off by saying this. Do not blame that game on the defense, okay? I don't care who you play, whether it's a high school team, a junior college team, a college team, much less an NFL team. When you turn the ball over 5 times, 4 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown, 3 others in field position to set up touchdowns, you ain't gonna beat anybody I just talked about. Anybody. All right? And that was a disgraceful performance, in my opinion. We threw that game. We gave it away by doing that. We gave them the friggin' game. In my opinion, that sucked. We've thrown 4 interceptions for touchdowns this year. That might be an NFL record. That's pitiful. I mean, it's absolutely pitiful to perform like that. Pitiful. What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Jeff, you still don't have audio. I'd love to help you. I'd love to come over and there's a bottom. Does he have audio now? Okay. Just look at the bottom and make sure the microphone doesn't have a line through it. Well, all right. So we can't go. All right. Here's the question. And I made it pretty clear. My top, I'm not going to make it too hard by saying my top 5. To win a Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. Here's the question. My top 3 coaches all time. I know you're not going to probably get them in order, but just give me my top 3. And I gave them to you. I made it clear, my top 3 coaches. My top 3 coaches of all time. And submit it to howardeskin.com. And submit it. Let me tell you right now, because it's the holiday next week, we're all going to take a break. I'm going to take a week off. I never take time off, but I'm going to take a week off. So I'm going to give you to July 3rd, midnight, July 3rd, even though we're not going to be on until the following week. Midnight, July 3rd, you got plenty of time to submit your answers. So you got not quite a week. Midnight, because nobody wants to submit it on July 4th, on the July 4th weekend. Submit your answer. My top 3 coaches in the NFL of all time. And I'll give you a hint. Bill Belichick's not even close to being in the top 3. So I might have, at some point, I might have to reevaluate Joe Gibbs, but no, well, I'm not going to get into it too much. But anyway, thanks for being a part of the program. Thanks for the people that joined. Getting more people to understand how to do this. When you click on, make sure at least the microphone does not have a red line through it at the bottom. Put your name in, join the studio, and you can be a part of this fine program. Thanks. Everybody have a great week. Like I said, I'm taking the week off. July 4th. Enjoy your July 4th. Be safe. Don't get crazy. Don't do anything really crazy. And be safe. And thanks for being a part of the Howard Eskin Show.